So you see Vietnamese now, either they are students or they are working adults. They
Right.
need to take the test like more specific, like IELTS test, TOEIC test.
Right.
So sometimes they feel so overwhelmed and sometimes they don't feel like they can actually achieve that goal. So what would you say to the student then? What should they do to get that done?
Okay, so more specifically for exams, right? Exam prep is super important.
Yes.
And it's more about how you plan for your exam than the actual exam. Because if you train your mind to be stress-free in that moment, nothing can be better than that.
Yeah.
A lot of children go and perform very well, and I've seen a lot of adults go and perform not so good. And I checked why this was happening, right? Because most of my students who were adults were going in and they were coming back not satisfied with their results, even though their ability was far better than the younger students. So it turns out that because they haven't been in that educational environment, right? The last time they had exam, some of them took like an a normal high school exam or a university exam many years before, and since then they had never sat down for extended period of time.
Yes.
IELTS exam, for example, is about 3 to 4 hours long, right? To be able to concentrate for so long is not everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
So you must develop your stamina. You must prepare yourself for that. You must study in that time so you're able to focus your energy more in that period of time. So if your exam is in the morning, try to study and focus harder in the morning so your brain is trained to focus and spend more energy in the mornings.
But that's something I never thought of. Well, there was one time when I went to the exam room and I felt so sleepy because that's usually my nap time.
That is your nap time. Yes, that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if you're a person who is like super dependent on their routine,
Yeah.
you will need to break it. So you will need to see and understand or need to know when your exam is happening, where it is happening. So everything is prepared beforehand. So that you're let's say most stress-free on that day.
Yes.
Sleep better before so you're able to concentrate more. That can add up to a whole point in your overall score.
Yeah, I gotta say, to sum up, that preparation is a must.
Absolutely.
But then have a relaxed mind and yes, just relax and just be ready to take the world on that day. Then anything possible, you can actually like teacher Sam said, you can score higher, like a half point or a whole point on that day. I agree, yes. Okay, so teacher Sam, as you know me, I got experience with both children and adults. So not just children, but adults also get distracted from certain things when they learn English. So how could we make adults avoid that problem? Yeah.
So I thought this problem was only limited to children, but I've experienced it. I've seen it in my class sometimes. The students do tend to get distracted. It could be for a number of reasons. And what I try to do is I try to bring the attention to that person who is distracted in a positive way, not like to make them embarrassed or something, but it's just like if you're feeling the energy from the classroom and you're feeding off of it, and suddenly there's one or two people who are, let's say, not as involved as you want them to be, what I try to do is I try to go to them and I try to ask questions about, and I try to figure out what's going on in their life. Usually it's relationship problems, or let's say the weather is super good and they're just watching rain outside the classroom and stuff, yeah. But when we try to talk about the problems, they feel much more ease when they share their problem. This makes it much easier for me to connect with them and relate my lesson to their issues.
Yes.
Because, I mean, just like our fingers, right? Not all fingers are same, so not all people are the same. Not every lesson is going to appeal to the, let's say, intellectual interest of all the students. Let's say we have a topic about banking. Not everybody loves banking, and not everyone works with the banking industry, so they're not pretty much interested in learning what are the, let's say, vocabulary terms of going in a bank, right? So what I try to do is make it interesting, relatable, and just challenging enough for them to be involved.
Yes.
Not make it too difficult and not make it too easy that they get bored and just, get distracted easily.
Okay, that's a problem, but distracted.
Yeah.
But how about the problem that they cannot remember what they learn? They become more forgetful nowadays, don't you think?
Compared to children, I thought that adults would be a bit more, you could say, forgetful.
Yes.
But surprisingly, they are actually, you could say, more committed to learning because, they have no other option. So
Yes, they have many things on the plate.
many things on their plate, yes.
Yes.
So what I try to do is I try to help them improve their recalling ability, recalling power.
Yeah.
So I give them small exercises to do, let's say at night. So I would tell them to recall what they did in their day and try to use English sentences to describe. For example, you went to your English class, what was your teacher wearing? So they try to recall and imagine what they were wearing. Initially, they'll not remember anything, right?
Yeah.
But slowly, they told me that they felt a huge difference. Like just in a matter of 3 or 4 weeks, they were able to remember intricate details of the day that they felt like they should not remember. For example, they were able to tell me what they were eating the week before on that, in a particular time. So they were able to remember what they had paid for that, how much money they had paid for their meals.
Yeah.
So all those details really impressed me. And once you have a good recalling power and a recalling ability, it just makes your life so much easier as a student.
Yeah, I should practice on that too. Recalling power.
Everybody has a brain that can memorize everything. It's the most complex organ of our body, as I said earlier.
Right. So as many of my students will take the test soon, and do you have any recommendation for them to improve their listening score?
Okay, so listening again, it is a skill that is acquired and learned over a period of time, right? It's not that you can improve your listening overnight. So the tips I've given you before actually help you concentrate more. But in your daily life, you have to incorporate listening all the time, whether it's through music, whether it's through entertainment, whatever way you can find, incorporate it into your daily life. Listen to audiobooks. There are abridged versions of books which are much easier to understand compared to the longer versions. So listen. You will hear many words which you're not familiar with, but because they'll be used in a sentence with context, that you'll make out the meaning of the word. And when you'll listen to it again, you'll pretty much know what the word means. And very soon, you'll feel a big difference in your listening skills.
Yes. So that is a general tips of getting better at listening.
Yes.
So how about in the test room?
In the exam center, again, try to time your concentration and energy skills, energy levels with the examination. Like you mentioned earlier, that you felt quite tired and sleepy when you had your IELTS exam, right?
Yeah.
So my suggestion would be to be more active in the time when you take your exam, right? So anticipate when your exam is going to happen. Check the dates, check the time, and try to do more focus-centric activities. Listen to audio books, sound bites. Try to do comprehension questions. This will improve you a lot.
Yeah, such a helpful tip. I will try next time.
For sure.
Yeah, and another skill that people are desperate to improve, which is speaking. Do you have any tips on that too?
Okay, so again, connecting your thoughts to your words is something we need to practice, right? To sound more natural, we have to incorporate the language. We need to think in that language because normally people think of a sentence, then translate it in their mind, and then they speak.
Right.
This is a very tiresome process, right? And it also affects your fluency. So what you need to do is, again, for your speech skills, sing songs, talk to yourself in English, talk to your friends in English, be more proactive, give more presentations, listen to yourself, and listen to your pitch, listen to your voice. All those things, all those exercises are going to impact the way you speak, and they will definitely improve as well.
Yeah, I agree. Connect your thoughts with
Yes,
your
with what
words.
you're trying to say.
Okay.
And the more you do it, the better you'll be.
Yes, I agree. All right, let's move on to the lesson, shall we?
Sure.
We will have what do we call speaking?
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking
And vocabulary.
activity and vocabulary. And I'll be the student. Teacher Sam will teach me some really amazing language that I have never learned.
Really? So no,
Okay.
we'll make it very simple, very easy. It's a beginner's level lesson.
Yes.
And we'll try to learn some new words, especially related to places and houses and stuff, and also your routines and what you do every day.
Okay.
So I want you to have a look at my screen.
Sure.
We're looking at, I hope you guys can see it right behind us. We're talking about our dream house locations, all right, where our dream houses are going to be. So normally when we think of our dream house, we imagine our house to be in a perfect environment, right?
Right.
We don't want it to be somewhere which is super inconvenient for us, or somewhere where we are scared to live. Okay, so we'll start. I'll get to that point in a bit.
Yeah.
So have a look at the first picture, right? It's a gorgeous picture. You can see, I think it's a morning time, right?
Yeah.
You can see a bit of a sunrise, the yellow,
shade tell me that's
gorgeous
that's
sun rays on that beautiful house, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me, where do you think this place is, like the house is located in?
I think it is located in a mountainous area because I see a lot of mountains and hills.
Correct. So we can call it a mountainous area or a mountainous
area.
region, all right? Mountainous being an adjective. So a place which is full of mountains and hills and a beautiful house over there. So when you live in a mountainous regions, can you think of the advantages of living in such a beautiful mountainous region?
Yeah, there are so many advantages. Like I can enjoy the fresh air.
Perfect. That's
I can just listen to the birds singing all day and, surround myself with trees and plants and flowers.
perfect.
It's like a heaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about the weather?
The weather usually cooler than
Yes.
in a urban area, of course, because
Yeah.
we don't have much population there.
Absolutely. So because it's in the hills, it's on a specific elevation, which is much higher than, of course, the sea level. So usually the weather and the temperatures are cooler. Do you know any beautiful mountainous regions in Vietnam?
Is Đà Lạt one?
Dalat, yes, it's
Yeah.
full of beautiful
Sapa too.
Sapa, yes, it has. Sapa has, I guess, the highest point of Vietnam as well, right?
Yes.
And it's beautiful. It's pretty. I've been there once, so
Yeah. The closest to Hanoi is Tam Da.
I have not been there, but
You should check it out.
something I will check out,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Because I'm a mountain person. Next, we can see another picture. What do you think this place is?
Oh, it's a beach house.
Cool. So it's at a beach, right?
Yes.
Now, when we talk about beach, we usually use the word coastal area because of the word coast. All right. It's along. It's like the edge of. It's like a place where the land meets the sea, right? So we call it the coastal area.
Coastal area.
Coastal, yeah.
Okay, repeat coastal area, everyone. Yeah.
So we saw a beautiful house over there, right, in the photo. Can you think of the reasons why someone would like to live in a coastal area?
Must be someone who loves swimming.
Of course, yeah. I love swimming, yes.
Yeah, they can take advantage of the warm water and swim. And maybe they love to enjoy the breeze from the beach.
Yep.
From the beach.
The sea breeze, right?
The sea breeze.
It's so much fun, right? Even when the weather is super hot, the sea breeze keeps you cool.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to swim every day is something I love,
Yeah.
And as we can see in the beautiful picture, people are so happy having fun at the beach. There are countless activities people can do. And sunbathing, making a sun castle, right? Sand castle.
The children would love it.
Children love it, right? That's why they get very excited when people go on beach vacations, right?
Right.
All right, cool. Do you know any cool beaches in Vietnam?
I love BK Beach.
Where is it?
In Da Nang.
In Da Nang. Okay, cool. I've been to Da Nang. I may have been there, but I don't know that place by name.
Okay, now it is next to the really cool hotel.
Awesome. Awesome. I will definitely check it out. Da Nang is one of my favorite vacation places.
Yeah.
All right, next one. We can see a house. Where do you think that is?
It's in the middle of the forest.
Perfect.
Is that a wood house?
We would call it basically a house in a forested region.
Okay, forested region.
Yes. An area full of trees, an area with more tree cover than a city, we call a forested region. And can you think of the reasons why people would like to live there?
Well, living in the middle of forest, like doing therapy every day,
It's
right? It's so therapeutic.
It is.
And of course, you got the great amount of oxygen to breathe.
Yeah.
Yes, and far away from the bustle life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, I do like that. I have a house back home in a forest. And
You
the
do?
reason I love it is because of the quiet. So at night, it's so quiet that you sleep so well. Like, I've had people come over there and they've told me that they've never slept better in their life before sleeping in that particular house, because it's so quiet and it's surrounded by trees. You do hear sounds, but they're so natural and they blend in with the environment that overall you feel the quiet of the area.
Yeah.
Right? So, being close to nature, as she said, there's higher level of oxygen and the air is relatively cleaner.
Yeah.
So it's good for your health as well, right?
Sure.
Finally, we have a place like that.
Welcome back.
You live in a place like this. I also live in a place like this. What do you think we would call that place?
It's urban area.
Perfect.
Yeah.
A house in an urban area. Obviously, it has its own advantages and disadvantages because we live in such a place right now, being close to Hanoi. Do you have any ideas or any, examples of advantages of living in an urban area?
Yeah, of course, the main reason that people move on to the urban area because they want to get access to the facilities are easier, like the school, the entertainment center, and cinema.
Yes.
Yeah, the restaurants.
I live in Eco Park and we have a cinema in our building. So, living in an urban area does come with a lot more conveniences. Like you said, there are more facilities, better hospitals, schools, right? It's super close to entertainment centers and facilities, right? Now, Ms. Tran, what I want to do is ask you for your opinion quickly. I'll just ask you like one or two easy questions. If you were to make your dream house, where would it be?
I prefer the beach.
Okay.
Because I was born and raised in the coastal area.
Very good.
I love the beach and the sea breeze. So pleasant. Also, I think the idea of me retired, I'll be in a beach house.
Okay.
With my parents.
Awesome. Can you tell me what could be some problems if you live in a coastal area? Since you
Well,
lived there, you grew up there,
Yeah.
were there any problems growing up?
Yeah, that would be, the bigger concern would be the natural disaster, like the typhoon. Do we have
Yes.
that? Yeah, in your country. And Yeah, you somehow the people say when global warming you lose your house because the sea level will increase.
Will eventually rise to a
Rise.
point that
That you
it can
lose
be
your
difficult. Actually, I remember because I lived in a city, beautiful city called Hating, and there were a couple of storms where we had to evacuate our houses
Yeah.
and live in hotels, right, for a few days. It was difficult time,
Yeah.
and but thankfully we survived, right?
Yeah.
So I can understand the pain of the natural disasters, and that is a scary thought,
Yeah.
especially for someone who can't swim, right?
Yeah.
Luckily I can.
All
But
right.
I'm not sure if swimming in a typhoon is an ideal situation, right? But it's good to have that skill.
Yeah.
Okay, if let's say you know your habits, you know your needs, and you know your likes and dislikes, right? Can you tell me, if you live in a beautiful place, like you mentioned that you would retire there one day, right?
Yeah.
What would be your routine now that you no longer go to work?
Yeah.
You have enough money, you're retired. What would your everyday routine be?
Yeah, but first I want to make a notice here. I will retire before I get 45 something,
Alright.
so I'm still
You'll still
young.
be fine.
And I'll still do young things, young people things like, go out with friends, partying. Yes, and my daily routine will be, but it should be healthy because
Yeah.
I will wake up early and maybe do yoga.
Cool.
And then I make breakfast for people in my family, and then just do whatever I want to do, or I have planned for that day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, like you said, you'll wake up, do yoga, do all the therapeutic exercises, have fun, basically live the life the way you want.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what we want from our dream house.
Yeah.
So, with this, we come to the end of our lesson.
Yay.
You spoke very well. You did good. I did not show her these slides before, I promise you. And she did really well. Thank you so much for listening to us today, and I hope you learned something, and give us your feedback.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Teacher Sam, for being here and giving us so much knowledge about learning English and improving our skill.
My pleasure.
Như vậy là chúng ta đã có một buổi nói chuyện chia sẻ rất là hữu ích cùng thầy Sam, và hy vọng là các bạn đã học được rất là nhiều thứ, cũng như là tìm ra cho mình một cái phương hướng học tiếng Anh tốt hơn, mặc dù là mình bận rộn hay là mình có những cái ưu tiên khác. Cảm ơn Teacher Sam ở đây cùng với lại chúng mình, và hy vọng là sẽ được gặp lại Teacher Sam trong buổi talk tiếp theo. Tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại.
Tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại.